everyone, welcome back to Candid Perspectives with Kenya and Brian. Today I'm here with some high school students who are going to tell me about their experience doing school online. And I'm here with
Hi, I'm Zaria from Form 6.
And yo, Camille from Form 5.
all right. So, Zaria and Camille, tell me, how has your experience been doing school online?
Well, in all honesty, it's quite, I'm not going to say stressful, but it is. But I think it's more motivation that I'm lacking. And, the lack of, physical and human interaction face to face. So, but other than that, it's easier in terms of scheduling around school. I could wake up earlier. So I would say that it's not all that bad.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd agree with Zaria on this. It's not all that bad, but same with just a little bit of stress, say from assignments to complete SBAs and stuff like that. But other than that, it's pretty good.
Okay. Well, that's nice. Do you feel more stressed about exams than you were when you were in school?
Uh, well, I would say yes, personally, because I don't know something about online school and procrastination just go hand in hand. So, and compared to when I was in school, like in Form 5, I wouldn't say I was on top of my game all the time, but it was just easier to contract things because I would have to actually, I can't I can't touch class when I'm going in person. It'll be harder. So, but in online class, if I didn't do any homework, I'm just like, oh, Wi-Fi troubles or something like that. So, so now I would think exams are a bit more scary for me, even though they telling us the topics and stuff. It's a bit more like, oh, when am I gonna start to study?
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, for me, the threats of the stress from exams isn't really all that bad. I find due to my parents and the teachers kind of pushing for the work, we're not really all as far behind as we thought we would be. I think we are about the same amount of work done as if we went in person. So I don't feel too much more stress about the exams coming up.
Okay.
Okay. So, what would you say is the biggest challenge you'll face preparing for exams besides procrastination?
Time management,
Okay.
definitely.
For
When it
me, that it will be time management, as Camille said, and motivation. So those would be the two biggest problems.
Gotcha. Um, well, Camille, you were trying to expand on your point?
Yeah. Um, Sorry about that. So about time management, it's not just we have to do our studies to be able to remember what we've done in classes and so forth.
Right.
So we have to put aside time for the studies. But since our teachers are also giving us assignments, we have to put out another set of time to finish those assignments. And then we have to put out even more time for stuff like sleep, play, because you can't just be working all the time, and relaxation. And it gets kind of overwhelming if you don't plan out how you're going to do your day. Sometimes you don't even know how you're going to do the planning. So the time management is definitely an issue.
Gotcha. So, what would you say you like least about online school?
Um, Least about online school, I would say, well, there are two sides of it, so it could also be me,
Right.
but I think some of the teachers aren't so understanding and aware that it's technology that we doing this with, and not all the time like it would have different like disturbances and whatnot. So for instance, we would have a test, right, on a specific day, and say Wi-Fi went or electricity went, and you can't attend that test, and and a teacher will be like, "Why didn't you take the test and whatnot?" And it's an actual, it's an actual valid reason. Like, this is the truth I'm telling. I didn't have Wi-Fi. Oh yeah, sure, I didn't have Wi-Fi. So uh, that aspect. Some, not all teachers are like that, but some are, and some are really accommodating. So they would say, well, okay, I understood. I would put measures in place so you could do the test or some other method so you could get your coursework. Yeah.
Okay. For me, the least like thing about online school would be assignments, because I find these assignments that we've been getting now are a lot longer and harder than we would have gotten before. Harder because, well, we're growing up in form, more we're learning, but a lot longer as well. It will take like an hour or so to finish some assignments, and some it's even more than an hour. And it feels like they're not really giving us enough time to complete, say, our SBAs, or yeah, just our SBAs
Right.
and stuff like that, or to study. And it's just I don't really like how the assignments are going.
Mm,
Okay. Well, thank you for that.
interesting. So, on the flip side to that question, what do you like the most about online school?
Well, for sure, the time flexibility. So I don't have to wake up early, because before I'd have to wake up at around 5 or half 5 to go to school. But now I can wake up at 7 if I want, 8, 9 o'clock on the dot if we being a little feisty and extra. But um, I would say the time flexibility, and also the fact that the content that's done in class, I could access it whenever, because not all teachers before, like what they write on the board, what they say during class, certain points would get missed, and that's inevitable. But now they usually teach the material on like PowerPoints or through videos that you get access after class. So that's a major plus for, I don't think only me, all the other students, I believe.
Definitely. So, for me, my favorite part of online school is that classes are a lot more comfortable. So we're not we're not confined in just one box of a classroom with multiple students all around us. And say we can't get distracted, say the students in the back are making some kind of ruckus, or the student sitting next to you is playing with their, what do you call it, pencil and erasers or whatever. And we don't have to be in these uniforms per se as we would have been in school. It feels a lot more comfortable, so you can get more into your work.
Yeah. Wow. That's actually a very good point. That no uniform is probably a huge plus. Um,
Definitely.
just one final question. How have you been doing mentally with this new change? Obviously, you're not used to going to school online. You've only been doing this for like about a year now. So, how have you adjusted mentally? How do you feel mentally about this new experience?
For me, it's gotten It feels natural by now, but in the beginning, it made me felt nervous
Right.
because I was like, what if the internet just shuts down suddenly? I won't be in class, and then maybe the teacher won't believe me and say, yeah, internet was off, like I believe that, or something like that, right?
Yeah.
But now, as we've done it for a year, I feel more comfortable with it. Um, and any stress I had at the beginning, most of it is gone.
Gotcha.
For me, I think I've also climatized to the online platform. In the beginning, at first I was overwhelmed, not simply because that we shifted from a different style of learning, but also with the learning online, it also the fact that we live in a different time is also attached to learning online. So I think before when we initially started, um, I just used to, I was always reminded like, well, this is a pandemic. I used to think that it was gonna end and stuff like that. So I just used to be, I don't know, it sounds weird, but I used to be in a sense anxious and somewhat depressed because the world is kind of different now. You can't go parties or basic uh interaction like hugging and whatnot.
Yes.
Mm. Okay, but before we go, I also have a question. So, having the experience of going to school physically and now doing school online, which would you say that you prefer?
Online for me.
For me,
Feel like, go on.
No,
no,
yeah.
continue.
Oh, thank you. Um, for me, it feels less stressful staying home. I feel like I'm getting proper sleep so I can focus properly in classes.
Mhm. Okay.
um I would say physical, because in a physical setting, I'm actually forced to pay attention. So if I like in online school, if I feel sleepy, I just gonna knock out on the desk or whatever. But in a physical setting, if I dare like put my head on that table, it's like, were you sleeping? But but I think
Imagine.
with physical class, I actually feel more engaged. And if I have to ask a question, I wouldn't lay it off and just say I could look it up on Google later, and then I end up not looking it up later. So that's my opinion on the school versus physical school versus online school.
I would have to say that I agree with Zario, not only for the being able to stay focused, but because I've been in school for a year and I've never been to school. So, I would technically like to, go to school, meet my classmates. And yeah,
And actually, in this case, I agree with Camille, which is kind of like a crisscross. But I agree with him mainly because sometimes I used to feel a little anxious in school when people like, oh, that's a dumb answer or whatever. But like when I was doing school and stuff, I could just like message my teacher and ask them. And you can't really message a teacher in physical school, like what I mean. And then also I'm very, very busy, and so it felt good so that I could just schedule everything, line them up. I could slip time in to do certain things, and I didn't have to stress about getting up, making sure I have breakfast, lunch, all them stuff. So yeah, I would probably prefer the online school, but I would still like to go out though, you know, a dinner, yeah, or movie, something.
Yeah.
But anywho's, I'd like to thank you both for joining us in this episode, and thank you so much for sharing your experience and your honest opinions with us. And well, we hope to have you back some other time soon. So thank you all for watching.
Thanks for having us.
Sure, thanks for having us. It was a pleasure.
Disorder, when me boys